Glenn had many accomplishments in his short life. He was a volunteer fireman, an avid photographer and videographer, and even received an Emmy for his accomplishments. Glenn's true love was being a police officer with his camera on his shoulder. He truly enjoyed helping others and giving back to his community. Let's not remember his life by his accomplishments, but remember him for who he really was, the memory that he left in our hearts. What our family will always remember about Glenn was his bright blue eyes, his big Irish smile, and his practical jokes. We will never forget the sacrifice you made that day with your brothers from Lakeland Fire Department around Concord. Firefighters James Amato, Lieutenant John Napolitano, and Chief Larry Stack. My family started a foundation in my brother's name. With money raised through the Glenn Gray Pettit Foundation, we are able to give out scholarships to graduating high school seniors who are entering college, to help others, just as Glenn was always doing. Glenn, may the sun shine upon your face. May the wind always be at your back. And until we meet again, may God hold you in the palm of his hand. I love you, we miss you, and we will definitely never forget.
And the poem Ulysses by Tennyson. Ulysses was imagined by the poet as he stood on the highest ground and looked back over his life. Though much is taken, much abides. Though we are not now that strength which in old days moved earth and heaven, that which we are. One equal temper, heroic hearts, made weak by time and fate, but strong in will, to strive, to seek, to find, and not to yield.
Gerald Francis Hardacre.
Jeffrey Pike Hardy.
TJ Hargrave.
Daniel Edward Garland.
Francis Harris.
Harvey L. Harrell.
Stephen G. Harrell.
Melissa Marie Harrington.
Aisha Ann Harris.
Stuart D. Harris.
John Patrick Hart.
Eric Hartona.
John Clayton Parks.
Emmerich Harvey.
Peter Paul Hashim.
Timothy Sean Haskell.
Thomas Cooper.
Joseph Jones Hassan III.
Leonard W. Patton Jr.
Terrence S. Patton.
Michael Helmut Cobb.
Timothy Aaron Haviland. Anthony Maurice Hawkins.
Yahiro Hayashi.
James Edward Hayden.
And my father, Fire Safety Director for Strategic Assignment. 9-year Outlaws
And I'm proud to represent the last surveyors helping to build the 9/11 Memorial.
Philip T. Hayes.
Robert J. Hayes.
W. Ward Hayes.
Scott Jordan Hazelton.
Michael K. Hume. Carl Francis Xavier Aaron.
John F. Heffernan.
H. Joseph Heller Jr.
Joanne L. Heltegrod.
Mark F. Hemschutt.
Ronnie Lee Henderson.
Brian Hennessy.
Edward R. Hennessy Jr.
Michelle Marie Henrique.
Joseph Patrick Henry.
William L. Henry Jr.
John Christopher Henwood.
Robert Allen Hepburn.
Mary Herencia.
Lindsay III.
Harvey Robert Hermer.
Clarabelle Salomón Hernandez. Raul Hernandez.
Gary Harold.
And my brother-in-law, FDNY Rescue 3 firefighter Thomas J. Coleman. Tommy, our lives are not the same without you. Your light still shines in our hearts.
I am proud to represent my colleagues, the lighting designers each year recreate Interview's life and are helping to illuminate the 9/11 memorial.
Jeffrey Allen Hirsch.
Thomas J. Bitson.
Leon Bernard Hayward MC Sundance.
Brian Christopher Hickey.
And Amencio Dario Hidalgo Centeno.
Timothy Brian Higgins.
Robert D. W. Higley II.
Scott Hussein Hill.
Clara Victorine Hines.
Neil O. Hines.
Mark Hindi.
Katsuzuki Hirai.
Heather Malia Ho.
Tara Yvette Hall.
Thomas Anderson Hobbs.
James J. Hobby.
Robert Wayne Hobson III.
Daquan Hopkins.
Ronald J. Horner.
Patrick A. Howie.
John A. Hoffer.
Marcia Hoffman.
Stephen Gerard Hoffman.
Frederick Joseph Hoffman.
Michelle L. Hoffman.
Judith Florence Hepmiller.
And my uncle, Lieutenant Philip Scott Petty, FDNY. You are always my hero, Uncle Bill. I love you, I'll miss you, and I'll never forget you.
I am proud to represent local free electrician helping to create 9/11 memory.
Thomas Warren Hall Jr.
Jonathan R. Coleman.
Cora Hidalgo Holland.
John Holland.
Joseph F. Holland.
Elizabeth Holmes.
Thomas P. Houlihan.
Herbert Wilson Homer.
Bradley V. Horn.
James P. Hopper.
Montgomery McCullough Ford.
Michael Joseph Horn.
Matthew Douglas Horning.
Robert L. Barobo Jr.
Michael Robert Tara.
Aaron Horwitz.
Charles J. Houston.
Uhuru G. Houston.
George Gerard Howard.
Michael C. Howell.
Stephen Leon Howell.
Jennifer L. Howley.
Milagros Romata.
Marion R. Parichek.
Stephen Puchko Jr.
Chris Robert Hughes.
And my father, firefighter Robert Joseph Clark.
And for my friend Vincent Damadeo and to his family, you are always in my heart. Also, that represents the funders of Local 1 helping to build the 9/11 memorial.
Paul Rexford Hughes.
Thomas F. Hughes Jr.
Timothy Robert Hughes.
Robert T. Hughes Jr.
Susan Hewitt.
Lamar Demetrius Halsey.
John Nicholas Humber Jr.
William Christopher Hunt.
Kathleen Ann Hunt Casey.
Joseph Gerard Hunter.
Robert R. Husa.
Thomas Edward Hines.
Walter G. Hines.
Joseph Anthony Dianelli.
Sue Eves.
Jonathan Lee Elby.
Michael Patrick Eichen.
Daniel Ilkanaya.
Frederick J. Ill Jr.
Abraham Nathaniel Lewitz.
Anthony P. Infante Jr.
Louis S. Ingalterra Jr.
Christopher Nova Ingracia.
Paul Canella.
Stephanie Veronica Irby.
Douglas Jason Yergin.
And my uncle, firefighter Larry Gallion. We love you and miss you.
And my true family brother, Gary Shalai.
No greater lamentation can abound for such a tragic rift than the separation of two brothers whose bond was severed all too swift. Your life may have been cut short, but your name, spirit, and legacy endure in my children and all those whose lives you touched so greatly in the short time you have graced us with your presence on this earth. I love you, God, for you.
Christine Carwine Ryan,
Todd Antium Isaac,
Eric Hans Isbranson,
Taizo Ishikawa,
Walid Joseph Iskandar,
Aram Iskandarian Jr.,
John F. Iskian,
Kazushige Ito,
Alexander Valerievich Ivantsov,
Virginia May Yablonsky,
Brooke Alexandra Jacob,
Aaron Jeremy Jacobs,
Ariel Louis Jacobs,
Jason Kyle Jacobs,
Michael G. Jacobs,
Stephen A. Jacobson,
Riknos Chegarov,
Jake Dennis Yagoda,
Yudvir S. Jain,
Maria Yakubiak,
Robert Adrian Gelberg,
Ernest James,
Griselda E. James,
Mark Stephen Jardine,
Amy Nicole Jarrett,
Mohamedou Jawara,
and my daughter Marina Gertzberg. We love you, Marinachka. We miss you every day. You're always in the heart, your family and friends. May God bless your soul. We will never ever forget.
I am proud to represent the construction managers helping to build the 9/11 Memorial.
Francois Jean-Pierre,
Maximum Jean-Pierre,
Paul Edward Jeffers,
Alpha Cynthia Jeffries Sanchez,
John Charles Jenkins,
Joseph Jenkins Jr.,
Alan Keith Jensen,
Graham Nat